Okay.
Hi guys, today we're changing the drive shaft for 2007 F150. It's the rear wheel drive. It's not 4x4, but anyways, when you start shopping for your drive shaft, they're gonna ask for all the specs of your car, but then they can ask for something very specific. They're gonna ask for the wheelbase. The wheelbase, you're gonna find it on your sticker. It's right here. The WB, in this our case, in this our truck, is 145, and that's gonna be, is very important when you shop for the drive shaft, which is technically the distance between the front wheel and the back wheel, the two bases, right in between, right in the middle of the two bases of the wheels. In our case here, it's 145. It's the 2007 F150 rear wheel drive, and it's the 8-foot bed. What else? For our purpose today, we're actually changing the drive shaft just because the bearing, the carriage bearing right in the middle, it got broken and it's unservable. Ford made it to the point actually you cannot change it. Actually, you can change it with aftermarket stuff, but in our situation, we chose actually to change it to the real thing. So you can go buy it from the dealer, and if you're gonna go to the dealer, Ford dealer, you don't need all this. You just give them your VIN number. They're gonna give you exact perfect fit piece, but it's so expensive. In our case, it was a little bit over $1,100, but we got it from a junkyard, and when we went to get it, we went down and we knew how important that number is, the wheelbase. When you go change your drive shaft, look for the wheelbase on your sticker right here, right? All right, to change the drive shaft, there's 4 bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, and there's one on the top. That's the rear end. That's the back of the truck. Then right here, in the middle of the truck, that's the bearing, the carriage bearing. And that's what's bad, actually. See? It's, let me try to get you some. See? It's not connected anymore. So that's why we're changing the drive shaft. Then the front end over here is gonna be just a slip out the transmission. There's no bolts, or it's just a slip out. So after you disconnect the bearing and disconnect the back from the gearbox, all you have to do is just, that's gonna be pulled out. Should be very easy. We'll see. All right, for the 4 bolts with the gearbox, it's 12 millimeter, and it has to be 12 sides. See the 12 points wrench? Because the bolt right here, because the bolt right here is 12 points. It's, you see it? I know that sometimes people don't like the 12 points because they're not as accurate as the 6 sides, but in this situation you need the 12 points. There's an old trick I learned. That's, you can actually get another wrench and All right, and now we're gonna take the bearing bracket, which is there's one bolt here and one bolt on the other side. It's right here. And I just to let you know, I soaked these two bolts with WD-40 earlier today, because you know this bolt is like exposed to a lot of water and rust and huh? Looks like the WD-40 soaking. It worked. It came out beautiful. Let's see the other one. All right, that's the point you have to be careful with. That's the whole drive shaft now is gonna keep dropping on you. See, and that thing is not light, it's heavy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put the two bolts just to hang them in there. Okay. All right, the drive shaft now is hanging over these two bolts I just lowered. See, it's lowered all the way. Now I'm gonna disconnect the back right here, which is I got two bolts out, but I still have two bolts connected here. So I'm gonna take this two bolts out, drop this end here, which is I'm not underneath it, so you have to be careful with that. If that dropped on your head, it's painful. Then I'm gonna drop the middle, then we will get back and I'll show you how to slip that front end from the transmission. Go. All right, now we got all the bolts out. So it's gonna take one tap for two. Now we're gonna lower the bearing. Right, we got the back end loose, 4 bolts. We got the middle bearing loose. Now this part which is connected with the transmission right here, once we pull it out, we're gonna get some transmission fluid out, so we're gonna have our oil pan to just catch the drip. Okay, so let's pull it out, and it should be easy to pull out. If it's not easy, just tap it here a couple times, it will come out really easy. Oh, we're lucky. Oh, we got some oil out. Let's drip it on the oil pan, don't worry. All right guys, that's the old one. That's the new one we got from the junkyard. See that bearing? It's completely separated, and it's the new one. It's attached, and when you go by it, look at this rubber. It's all intact, free to move, and that's, you look for this rubber, there's no cracks, especially on those joints. See this joint right here? No cracks. That's what you're looking for. And let's put the new one in. I mean, the used one. Somewhere. All right, now we're gonna slide the front end inside the transmission. You just wiggle it and it should go in. Inside that end there's a lot of like gear. One of them is kind big space. There was a mark in the transmission piece I just try to align that big piece with the mark. It looks like it went in, so then you just lift it up, and I have that screw already, because if you notice this, the bracket around the bearing, there's one end opened, the other end is closed, so I lift that screw in there just to slide it in. You can compress it. This piece moves in and out just to give you a wiggle room, so you can actually put your, and I think I aligned that hole really good up front, because when I lift it up, it's like perfect alignment. Yeah. All right, the drive shaft was kind of heavy, so I had to put that stand underneath it to hold it up for me, so I can actually tighten this, the two bolts for the bearings. Then we're gonna tighten up these 4 bolts, and we're good to go. And then, the torque for these 4 bolts is between 60 and 70. I'm gonna go for 65. And thanks for watching, and please help us by thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you, guys.